Popcorn World. Popcorn World.
Can I make you groove now? Yes, I can. So you can get this groove in the back of a can. You can make it round the world when it holds in your hand. Popcorn World. 250 flavors gonna make you smile. 250 flavors gonna make you smile. 250 flavors gonna make you smile. That's that popcorn make you smile. Ah. 250 flavors. Popcorn World. Popcorn World. Popcorn World. It's a popcorn world. It's a popcorn world.
You're now listening to Bleav in the ACC with Heisman Trophy winner and Florida State legend, Mr. Charlie Ward, Wave 3 TV, and Fern Creek Hall of Famer Kendrick Haskins, and Mr. Talking Noise himself, and of course Mama Noise's man, Lloyd Spence. And now, it's time for Bleav in the ACC.
We are extremely glad to be here with you this morning because Kendrick Haskins is here. Hello, Papa.
Hello, Papa.
Hello, Papa. And of course, the incomparable Charlie Ward is here. And Charlie, what you coming in hot today? What does that say? God and family over everything. I mean, facts. That's strong, Charlie. That's a strong message.
Yes, it was a family reunion T-shirt. So
nice.
I like it. I like it.
Not a family reunion, but a family T-shirt that we had made. It's been a few years now, but I pulled it out for today.
It's nice.
I like it, Charlie. You look good. Everybody is in a good place right now, so that's nice. Even though it is freezing cold out here, at least where I am, it's 23 degrees, and the snow is coming. Cold. Yeah, and the snow is en route. See, Charlie, I thought you wore your blue and white today because it is Founders Day for the great men of Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated. I mean, you know, I know he's not a Sigma. I know he's not a Sigma. I'm just saying it's the great men of Phi Beta Sigma doing their thing today, you know. So
why were all the black fraternities and sororities founded in the same couple of weeks? Every other day it's founded.
This is a weird week for that. It is. I think it's us, the Deltas. This is the Charlie, help me out here. The Deltas, the
Qs was recently.
The Qs is in November. Right, they're in November.
Who were they celebrating for? I saw them celebrating the other day.
They may have been celebrating the Deltas. Yeah. I think the Alphas, it's like a lot of them in January. It's you know, it's and then I don't know, it's weird. But I don't know. January seems to be the month everybody. I don't know if that's because it was the month everybody was going back to school, and that's when I don't know what it was, but that's when the Founders seemed to be. But shout out to my brothers of Phi Beta Sigma. Appreciate y'all. All right. Let's jump into some sports news because I feel bad. First of all, let me start off the show by saying I feel bad. I do. Because we can't give the same level of production to the basketball preview that we do to football preview because by the time we get to the basketball season, which is where we are now, we're pretty much like 3/5 of the way over it, 2/5 of the way over. So we can't really like go back and be like, here's what we think is going to happen, or it's happening. So the best we can do and offer you guys is kind of an update as to what's happening and how it's all playing out. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to give you what we're seeing because we're finally kind of caught up. We're not even all the way caught up either because we're still on the, got playoffs and stuff going on. But we're going to do the best we can.
Playoffs?
Yeah, playoffs. So we're going to talk some basketball today and get into some conversation. But I want to start on the women's side because the men are having, first of all, let me say this. This is the best men's season we've had in a long time. Top to bottom. In men's basketball. Not because, and here's what I mean by that. I think the parity.
I'll give you the parity.
Right. It may be at the highest it's ever been. This is one of the first years I can honestly say I have zero idea who's going to win the men's championship this year. I do. I don't.
You mean in the ACC or nationally?
Both.
Well, ACC, I think it's really obvious, but nationally, yeah.
We see you say that, but I don't know. Well, let's get into it. We'll get into that in a minute. But I want to start with the women because the women may be, my point of saying what I said was the women may even be harder because what I thought was going to happen to start this season is not what's happening. It is. The women are legitimately, the ACC women are legitimately the SEC men right now.
Mm-hmm.
There are maybe 10 teams that are in the mix on the women's side. It is insane right now. Go just giving you a quick list for those who have been out of the loop. On the women's side, you've got
Georgia Tech.
Seminoles. Well, Georgia Tech, if you want to start with Georgia Tech, I have no problem with that because
they're the top team.
I was going to say they've earned the right to have their name mentioned first. Here's the irony of Georgia Tech. They're the top team in the ACC, but they're the only undefeated team in the ACC, but they're number 13 in the country.
That's a lot of that strength of schedule in their pre-conference.
Well, all I know is 15 wins is 15 wins. They give Gonzaga number one in the country every year in the men's side, and they don't. Who is Gonzaga really beating?
They play teams in the non-conference.
They do. But my point is, you can only play who's in front of you, and if you're 15-0, you're 15-0. That's all I'm saying.
It is what it is. They'll get a chance. If they continue to win and play good basketball, they'll be in the mix when it's all said and done.
You know how this thing works because they weren't ranked before the season started,
right?
So so they've beaten 2 ranked opponents. So it's going to take a while for them to get up there.
Well, they are definitely climbing up the hill, but they're doing a great job, and they're being led by a freshman in Danny Carnegie. She's giving them 16 points a game, and she is killing it right now. Like I was going to say she's the runaway freshman of the year right now, but then I don't know if that's true because the Duke Blue Devils are running Toby Fournier out there. They're 6'2", I guess she's a center, and she's giving them 12.9. And what's interesting about Duke, they got the total team thing going. Like they may be the most complete team in the ACC. Like they win as a team, both offensively and defensively. And they get contributions from everybody. So they are a very, very interesting team. And it's so funny to me to watch a team completely take on the personality of their coach. And they are tough. They are gritty, just like Carol Lawson. That's who she has always been, and they are the mirror image of her. And then we got to talk about Charlie Seminoles and the number one scoring player in the country, Tanaya Lawson. I know everybody thinks it's Juju, but it's not. Juju is not the number one. It is Tanaya Lawson, who's killing it right now at 27.9 points a game. And I mean, putting on a show night in and night out. And if ever there was a put my team on my back player, it might be Tanaya Lawson right now. What are your thoughts on your on the maturation of Tanaya Lawson, Charlie?
She's playing well.
I know what Charlie's doing right now. I've been with him long enough.
Yes.
This is one of those. We're flying under the radar. I see what's happening.
She's having a good season. So
she's having a phenomenal season, Charlie.
Let's let her have a good season. Continue.
Go with this again.
Here we go.
It's the 2023 football season all over again.
All over again. We're right back where we started. It's okay, Charlie, for her to be having a phenomenal
Charlie didn't even deny it.
No, he didn't. He knows.
She is having a good season. I agree. So let her continue.
She's got a heavy load. She's pulling the load right now for that team.
She's healthy.
She's healthy.
And
yep.
She has shooters and she has other players around her to help her. So, but she has the ball in her hands a lot. So that it's par for the course for her to be able to do it. But she's not just one dimensional.
No, she is very much not.
So she shoots from the outside and drives to the basket, free throws. So she's all.
How tall is she?
5'8".
Oh wow, so she's not that big either.
She looks longer than she actually is.
She's athletic, stout. So she carries her weight well and uses it to her advantage. She's very strong lower body. And so that's where her power comes from.
Well,
dropped 40 on Virginia Tech.
Yeah.
Last week.
Well, don't look now. Also, I think if she's not shooting the highest 3-point percentage in the conference, she's shooting the second highest, like 45%, something crazy like that. She's having a heck of a season. But listen, all signs and roads to dominance point to Notre Dame, and we knew that this was going to happen because we have been saying that we thought this was going to happen last year, but Olivia obviously got hurt and she wasn't available last year. But my God, now that she is,
it's the most dominant backcourt in the country,
without question. I'm gonna tell you something, and I've been quietly saying this among my friend groups, but now I can say this publicly. They may be the most dangerous team in women's college basketball.
I thought it going back into the summer because they have those two and they still have Centron come back. And so, I mean, what do you do?
Centron is number 11.
She's
a big girl.
No, Citron's a guard. She is number 11, but she's a guard. She's 6'1", though, but she is a guard.
Yeah.
They are
the 3-point shooting on that team, and then with both of them being able to get to the basket whenever they want. I mean, they're as dangerous as they come.
And first of all, aside from Hannah Hidalgo's 25 points a game, Olivia Miles is diming out 7 of the greatest assists you see a game. Like, I mean, she threw one in one game where she was running down the court, and as she was running down the court, she threw it through her legs. I was like, wait, what? I had to go back and watch it 3 times. Like, did she just do what I thought she did? Listen, the best backcourt, and why that matters is that when you get into tournament play, both in the ACC and in the NCAA tournament, what's the number one thing you gotta have if you're gonna make a run? You gotta have great guards who can control the flow and do their thing. But gentlemen, and especially you, Charlie, talk about Hannah Hidalgo and Olivia Miles and what is their ceiling? Is their ceiling a championship?
Eventually. I don't know win, but if they stick together or stay together and stay injury free, they definitely have a chance to make it happen. Of course, you need everything when it's all said and done. If you're going to take down some of the top players, but the start is to have two guards. Your guard play, as you talked about, is very essential if you're going to win a championship. And they, of course, have it. The scoring, the assists, both of them can do both, and then have the shooting around them, which is always key. It'll be interesting to see how they handle the other teams that may be a little bit bigger. Um, you know, but when it's all said and done, I would take them to any party. Um, you know,
That's right.
And then on
would
top of
be
that, you have King leading the country in field goal percentage.
Yeah, yeah. They got the right now. They got the
57%.
whole thing working.
and
I
Coach
just
Ivy.
noticed,
Coach Ivy is a great coach too. I
yeah,
mean, she's
Oh yeah,
Olivia Miles is a guard shooting 56% from the field.
yeah.
That's insane. 40,
Well,
48% from three.
well. Listen, I'm old enough to remember when Olivia Miles was. We consider her maybe the best guard in the conference.
Hmm.
And the only thing that has slowed that down is the fact that she got injured.
She had to
She
sit
was
out
out.
last year.
She had to sit out last year. So, listen, they are going to be an insanely tough out, and the leapfrog of confidence and ability that Hannah Hidalgo has made just in this last year is insane to me. She is a problem. She is
She
a
came in as
problem.
she came in as a problem.
It's amazing to see the level of confidence that she has. And she believes, I don't think she believes there's anything she can't do. And I don't think she believes there's any person that can stop her from scoring when she wants to. And she may be right. Quite
Yeah,
honestly,
she's correct.
she is correct. I mean, listen, it ain't bragging if you can back it up, is what we're trying to say. So now I do want to show some love to some of the other teams in the ACC, NC State, Clemson, Louisville. California is playing some great ball right now. North Carolina. SMU quietly is competitive. Now, I don't know if they're going to be able to, like, make any kind of significant run. Got a player in what is the child's name for Nia Robertson, who makes it interesting. She makes it interesting. If she can get some help on her team, she can. I mean, they might be able to do something. She just doesn't have any help yet, but she's really good. Nia Robertson can play.
This is the first year in the conference, and so they're adjusting.
Yeah,
SMU
definitely getting their fit. Yeah.
is a
they
sleeping giant in this conference in every
they
sport.
just lost to California 81-66.
Yeah.
That's not a bad loss though, because California's good. And California is quietly having a season as well. And by the way, before we even go any further, we send our thoughts and prayers out to that Palisades, Altadena, Pasadena area, and then California as a whole. Hopefully they can get a hold of these fires and get that situation under control. But it is rough.
It's scary.
Right now. It's very scary.
Scary.
Yeah, it's very, very scary. So we send our thoughts and prayers to the people out in California for that. But it is a interesting, more than interesting season developing for the ACC right now. I'm really surprised because I thought it would be a good season. I didn't know it would be like this.
Mm. Now, because Louisville's interesting there because we kind of knew they was going to struggle coming in by their standards because they're so young. They are
Right.
so young. They've got to be the youngest team in the conference, and so they've taken some losses. I mean, they've gotten blown out in games, but they're still right there. They're 3-1 off to a 3-1 start in the conference. You know, right there in the mix for making the tournament. They won 4 straight. They're at Pitt tonight. Ever since my favorite player, Jada Curry, since she got back in the lineup, she's played really well, and she might be there. Is she their leading? Taj Roberts, the freshman, is their leading scorer, and Jada Curry is right behind her at 11 points, and she's shooting 34% for 3, and so she's played really well since she came back. She had an injury right before the start of the season, so she didn't even come back until after the Kentucky game, and so they're playing well. They're just making young mistakes because they're a young team. Because Taj is a freshman, Isaiah Arenas is a freshman, who's Gilbert Arenas' daughter, and Zach Randolph's daughter, Mac McKinley. They're all freshmen, and so the older players have stepped up as of late, but I mean, still the bulk of the team is freshmen. So there's just a lot of growing pains this season.
I was gonna say when was the last time Jeff had to depend on a heavy freshman team like that? Was that maybe
this heavy
Shoney's season? Maybe
even then they had a lot of veterans on that team. This is the youngest team he's ever.
I was thinking it was the youngest one,
especially coming off last year when they were all transfer portal kids. He had one freshman last year.
Right. He went from 1 to 5, and he's having to play them. So there's going to definitely be some growing pain. Mm-hmm. But you see the talent, you see the ability. I would even argue the same thing could probably be said about Miami. Miami is playing well. They're 11-4. They're leaning heavily on Haley Cavender, who's having a pretty good season. And then she's getting help from also Cameron Williams. So they're having a pretty good season. But again, it's just growing pains.
And that Miami win was kind of proof that Louisville was kind of turning the corner because they beat them by 18 points.
Yeah, Miami's a pretty good team. Miami's actually a pretty good team. So this is going to be a fun season on the women's side for sure. I did not know, though, if I'm being honest, that the men's season would be equally as fun. Because when the injuries started happening to Louisville and the weird start that Duke kind of had, like that first couple of games, you're like, okay, Cooper Flagg is good, but I don't know about the rest of the team. And North Carolina's team is kind of down. You're thinking that'd be quite as entertaining. And to their credit,
Cooper Flagg's living up to the billing.
Cooper Flagg is everything advertised and maybe then so. Clemson is looking pretty good, although that win against Louisville, that loss against Louisville was kind of surprising. I think it was the way they lost that was surprising.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was about to say, is the way they lost, because they definitely had the size advantage, but they didn't take advantage of it. I mean, at one point, Javon Hadley was running the 5 for Louisville. Javon Hadley's like 6'5", and he's playing the 5, and they outscored Clemson in the paint. That makes sense. So Louisville played really, really well that game. What Javon did, he hit career high 32 points, 10 rebounds. They did that. What was impressive about that was they did that when Chucky Hepburn had one of his worst shooting games this season. He was 1 for 10 from the field, but he still got his assists. He still got steals. He still had a few more turnovers than usual. Couple just bonehead turnovers that you don't usually see from him. But he still played. He played well in other parts of the game. He didn't let his shooting affect the game. And so they showing that they've got different guys. I mean, at Florida State, it was Rain Smith, and then Chucky Hepburn's had his games, and Javon had his game against Clemson. So they're getting contributions from different people every night, and they look a ton better than I thought they would. Before the season started, and even most of this season, I was like, they should just be happy with getting to 500 after where they've been and all that. But now they're second place in the conference, and they look like they might be the second best team in the conference right now. So it's fun to see. It's fun to see the life back in the KFC Yum Center for home games, and they're playing really well right now.
Well, the one thing that I picked up on early from Pat Kelsey is that when you take and Charlie, you can speak to this as a coach because I think this is an important part of the conversation. One thing that he has done, he has taken the restrictions and the fears away from his team. And here's what I mean by that. When a team doesn't have the fear of mistakes and being yanked if you make a mistake or yanked if you miss a three. In fact, he's saying, let it go. Fire that thing up. If you open, let it go. When you can play, confidence starts to manifest, and it becomes a thing where you go, okay, I'll make the next one, and that's what you're seeing in a lot of games with Louisville right now. We'll make the next one, and yeah, like even in that Clemson game, they didn't start out shooting well, but eventually that ball started going in the hole, and Clemson was like, uh-oh, what do we do? Go ahead, John.
That all sounds good. But if you're not playing well or shooting well, you're coming out because you're not being productive. And if you keep doing it, I mean, if it's your best player, sometimes you have to live with that, or guys that you're rolling with in your rotation. But you're not going to win very many games if you're not able to score. And so I think it's essential for people to understand. Yes, it's cool to know that you may not be coming out because of mistakes, but if you keep turning the ball over,
that's different.
Right. Doing those types of things.
Yeah.
But as long as you're competing on the defensive end and making impact, I think we all should be playing with confidence. But confidence to me comes from preparation. Like people talk about being confident and the coaches having trust. All that's good, and they do, and they need somebody to trust, because if you're going to be successful, you got to trust, a group of guys that collectively get it done. But confidence comes from putting the time in the film room, putting time on the court, getting extra shots up, doing necessary things to improve your game. And those are the things when we talk about confidence. I mean, the coach is going to trust what he sees. I mean, you have to earn that trust as well. And so I think that's important to understand is, everyone that's getting an opportunity to play is at least earn the opportunity to play by something that they've been able to contribute and do. So I hear you. When you talk about the confidence and the coach, not looking over your shoulder and all that. I mean, I've been there, I've done that, but then I've been in all of those areas where you make mistakes and you get a little bit more rope. And there's times where you make mistakes and you don't get that rope, you get full. So how do you bounce back from it, and how do you grow so that you can continue to earn the confidence of the coach? So I just say, when you're not doing well in one area, if you're still out there, that means that you're doing something well in other areas to help the team be successful. So
that was Chucky in the last game. Yeah, he couldn't make a shot, but he still distributed the ball. He still was a ball hawk on defense, and still did the other things that contribute to winning. Just couldn't get the ball to fall. But they playing really well. Getting Traore back has helped a lot, especially in that Virginia game. Them getting over that hump, them blowing out Virginia at Virginia, even though Virginia is not the same Virginia we're used to, for that program, for the Louisville program, who could not win there. They hadn't won there since 1990. So for them to get that win, I think that for the fan base, not so much for this team because they didn't experience any of that, but for the fan base, that I think you got a whole bunch more buy-in from the fans from seeing them finally get over that hump at Virginia.
I want to stay there for just a second on Virginia because obviously, as we all know, Coach Tony Bennett retired at the beginning of the season, and literally at the beginning of the season. They're playing well, if you can say that, at home. They're 7-2. They have not won a game on the road. Overall, they're 8-7. Talk to me, guys, about how challenging it is to pivot like this when your head coach walks away in the manner that he did.
It's got to be difficult. At least, I mean, the assistant coach that took over, he's been there, so you're not totally relearning the system or whatever. But it's got to be difficult.
But is the voice? But the
Charlie
voice dramatically changes, right, Charlie? And it's like,
I mean, it's a tough situation because I mean he's been there the whole time, and then all of a sudden you have to pivot from I wouldn't say a different philosophy, but hearing a different guy, and him, really not having the head coaching experience in a lot of ways. So there's some drop off there from Coach Bennett's experience.
yeah,
And I don't know what kind of team they were going to be, even with Coach Bennett.
right.
That's a great point.
So that's they could have easily been this team.
Yeah, there was a little bit of fall off. Yeah, there was a little bit of fall off coming anyway.
Yeah. So I don't know. I think his decision was very similar to Coach Larinaga.
I was going to get to that one. Yeah,
it was just a matter of when they wanted to do it because of the state of the game of college sports, and so I don't think his decision and Coach Larinaga's decision would have been better before or after or in the middle of the season, like he did. So I think they're just at a point where they're like, man, I'm tired and I just don't want to be a part of it because they see a lot of things that we don't see. We hear about, but they see it on a daily basis. And so I don't know if Virginia would have been any different. They may have won maybe 1 or 2 games more, but I wouldn't see them being in the top echelon.
Yeah, I don't like the way either one of them did that because you preach to your team first, and then you just bounce. I mean, respect.
I was going to ask, Larinaga left. Did he leave?
Yeah, he's done. And so I respect their careers. I expect them. I mean, they're Hall of Fame coaches. You're not your background. They're Hall of Fame coaches, and I respect everything they've done in the game and contributed to the game. But I do not agree with the way they ended it because I mean, obviously, you had those feelings before. It didn't just come up that day. You was like, you know what, I'm out. So, and leave your team in the lurch, and they're scrambling and everything. I didn't like it at all.
I don't like it either. I do understand it. I
understand it, but like do it in the off season.
I think you hurt the program doing it the way they did it. I really do because the reality is. Go ahead.
Well, did they? Because
I think you do.
Let's just say, because this is what's happening as we've seen in college sports today. Whether it's a coach deciding to move on or a program deciding to move on, most times when they understand and know that they're getting ready to move on, they don't allow the coach to finish out the season because they're going to try to find the next coach, whoever that next coach is.
Yes.
And so to me, this is very similar to that in a sense. They just did it before the season, which is, I mean, the timing is always never good. I don't know if there's ever a great time.
June.
Yeah, I mean, everybody would say that, but even that time is late. You
I
know
just
what I
threw
mean?
out a month.
Right.
I'm just saying, like, it seems like there's never a great time,
Mm,
because if you do it too early or too late, you're still scrambling, trying to figure it out, like who's going to be the next coach, and
mm,
the search is tight, and so it's just I don't know if there's ever a great time, um, but what we've seen as a trend is, if that is what you desire to do, whether it's them firing the coach or the coach deciding, hey, I'm tired or leaving, you know, let them know so they can at least start to prepare for the next coach, whatever that looks like. And then, like in Virginia's case, the new coach, I don't know if he's going to, get the job or have an opportunity to
Doesn't feel
interview
like
for it. I mean, this is his audition, to
yeah.
to see if that's something he can handle. Um, but and then Miami's situation is just Miami's situation. They were having a bad year anyway,
Hmm.
but
yeah.
I don't know if they're going to be able to recover this year. But at least they can have a head start on who's going to be the next coach.
On the coaching search, yeah. I mean,
Well,
and from that perspective, I hadn't really thought about it. That is true that these universities can let these coaches go whenever, and
nice.
so you know coaches can leave when they want to leave. So because
And
that's the
player
perspective
and
I'm
now
taking from
players and
players,
now players are able to do it. I mean, guys
right?
are up and leaving in the middle of the year or the beginning of the year,
Mm,
or whenever. It's just that is just the
Because you
way
got to
our
like
pay them
world
their
is.
money,
So
Charlie.
like the what
You got to
quarterback
pay
was
them
it
their money.
UNLV's quarterback that played the 4 games and then quit.
yeah, yes, exactly.
Pay me my money. You better pay me
My
my money.
money, I need my money.
Hello, Papa. Um, I, the thing the only thing that I was with I'm not pushing back on anything you said, Charlie, because I 100% agree with everything you said. The challenge that I have with both men is that in addition to you leaving, you also send the message of, oh, and by the way, I hate NIL. Okay,
Well,
got
that,
it.
hold
I
on,
get
hold
it.
on, hold on.
No, wait,
Isn't
hold
that,
on. Wait,
isn't, isn't that what we want? We want the coaches to be authentic. We want them to share their hearts. That is what he's sharing his heart.
as the coach, yeah, but not as the outgoing guy. Like, don't don't say that on your way out the door, and now we got to deal with the repercussions
but that but
of
that
when
but
we
that's
go recruit Miami players. Well, I heard y'all hate NIL. The last coach hated NIL. We're fine. Like it's. I
It's
mean,
the U of L deal with, but I mean, it's
but
fine. I mean,
that's but
it's a
that's
new
what you
regime.
do. That's what people do. They on their
that is
when
true.
they're on the job, they're professional. Like I'm not gonna sit up here and talk about NIL being, the way it is and the worst
Right,
and everything as a coach, because yes, that's going to kill you. It's going to
right,
kill.
right.
But when you're not affiliated with the school anymore, or you're moving on, I mean, that's where books are normally written.
Yeah,
After something. It's not normally during, where you're authentic, unless you're just one of those people where you want to put all your business in the street, or you want to share your thoughts on X, Y, and Z.
yeah.
But most people, don't start telling their hearts until,
After
later.
the fact.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because they want to protect their image. They want to protect whatever it is they're trying
the
to protect, the
brand, the whole
school.
nine. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And
Yeah,
so
the thing is like if they do get that itch to come back, it's going to be very difficult for them to recruit.
Well, it sounds like they're not coming back because they
um,
Right.
Tony and Larinaga both just kind of.
I can definitely see Larinaga being done, but Tony's young enough to where I can see him getting that itch again.
I was a little more
nah,
surprised that Tony did than I was Larinaga.
I can I can see Coach Bennett either coaching at a lower level
Or high
where
school.
or high school. I agree.
Wow.
I can see him coaching at a lower level where there's where he can develop players, and do the things that he desired to do, or he's been doing and wanted to do, without all of the of course, when you go lower division, your best players are going to be cherry picked by,
Mm-hmm.
some of the other guys or some of the
Right.
bigger teams for NIL and those types of things. But I could see him doing some of that or just coaching his grandson's little league team.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Uh,
Like, because the things that are going on. So, one of my best friends growing up, his nephew is a pretty big time player in college football. I'm not going to name any names of universities, but the offers he's getting, and he's staying put, and the university he's at can't match, but he's staying out of loyalty and all that, which is good on him and a very mature way to look at it. But the
Well, I'm
things that
happy to hear it.
are going on behind the scenes right now,
Oh
oh,
yeah.
it's
it's
insane,
insane. It's insane.
Hmm.
and it's only going to get worse. Let's be
Yes.
clear. I saw and I'm hoping they were joking or hoping it was an AI overdub, but I saw an overdub where a player came up to a coach after the game on the football field, and he said, "Just call us, man. We can get you a bigger check or something like that." Like it was, and it was supposed to be, I guess, humorous, but I said, hopefully this is an overdub because I never know. Sometimes these overdubs are really good, but
Mhm.
Hmm.
but like I'm also sure that there are some coaches saying, "Hey, situation, give us a call in the offseason." Like, and honestly, what can you do if you are a coach? You having to recruit and re-recruit almost on a daily, weekly, monthly, and yearly basis.
Yeah. I
So
mean, it's recruiting year round now, where
yeah,
you're recruiting your players
Recruiting other
and
teams' players.
you're looking at other people's players and you're recruiting, outside. And so, I mean, I ran into a college coach on the plane, and he was just coming back from Miami. I would think I was in Miami and or going to Miami and catch a flight back to Tallahassee. And he was going to Miami or coming from Miami to because one of his players was working out. And he's down there hanging out with his players because he's one of the best players, and he's in Miami working out, and so he had to go visit to make sure that.
Keep them.
I was like, oh Lord. I mean, I understand it going to visit your players and making sure that they're doing what they're supposed to do, but when you have your ear to the ground in a sense, and you know that that ground where your player is could provide some challenges, as far as long term stability with your program. To me, that is crazy.
Mhm.
it's insane. It is insane. Not to pick on a team or anything, but like I've been watching the Coach Prime documentary or docu series, and like just the recruitment of Jordan Seaton was insane. Like they literally had to text and call that dude every day until he signed. Like it was just up. And on the day he signed, it was like, "Have you signed yet? Have you signed yet? Did you do it? Have you did? Okay." And then once they got him in, it's like, come tuck him under the shoulder here. Like, okay, come on,
Mhm.
you're part of the inner circle because you can't lose him. You can't afford to lose him. Like
Yeah, because
it's
nowadays, even after you sign them, you still have to recruit them.
Right.
you gotta start recruiting him immediately. Like the day he steps on campus, if he doesn't feel a part of it, he'll leave, and then you got a gaping hole in your program. And I'm sure it's even worse in basketball because the hole is bigger. There's only 5 guys that can step on the court at a time.
Mhm.
So if you lose one, you've got a real problem. So it's we're in a weird place, and there doesn't seem to be any end in sight. So there you go. Good luck. Good luck to all of you coaches out there.
Right. It's a dirty job.
It's a dirty, dirty job right now. Gentlemen, your thoughts on this college football playoff so far? And let me start by saying this. If I hear one more person say the committee got it wrong. I think I'm going to scream mustard because this is ridiculous that people are saying that. I don't understand this revisionist history that keeps going on when it comes to this thing.
It's only one side doing it. It's
Well,
the one that means
it
more.
is. But
How did the committee? Tell me something?
Go ahead, brother.
How did the committee, in those people's eyes, get it wrong? I'm just
because
curious.
Alabama wasn't in it. That's all it is. It's just because Alabama wasn't in it. Did they deserve to be in there? No. And then Indiana gets beat, and then they harp all over it. Indiana shouldn't have been there. Yes, they should have been there. SMU gets beat at Penn State. Well, they shouldn't. Yes, they should have been there by the criteria that's put in front of them. That they followed the criteria. They won their games. They didn't lose to a bad Oklahoma team. They didn't lose to Vanderbilt. They went out there and took care of business all season. They deserve to be there, but because they lost by double digits, all of a sudden they shouldn't have been there. And it's just the same old nonsense.
But Oregon lost by double digits.
Yes,
Oregon got it handed to them.
Yes.
So my thing is it's not. I mean, we keep talking about this. Who deserve to be in it. We got to take it out of the full hands of those people who talk about who deserves and all that. Because if we look at the eye, if we go by that test, then there are only going to be certain teams getting in every year.
It's going to be the SEC Invitational. That's what it'll be.
100.
But that's what they want us to do. They want us to say, when you look at the guys tell you that we're better, maybe, but guess what? If you're better, don't lose to Kentucky, Ole Miss.
Right.
That's how you get in. You don't lose to a team at home. You don't lose to a team that only has 4 wins.
Right.
Then you can get in. Right.
Yeah. Don't have 2 losses to 6 lost teams. Alabama.
And I'm just saying, this is why are we making this complicated, and why are we allowing? It feels like we're allowing the cool kids to try to bully us.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it feels like. It feels a lot like that.
It does feel like that.
Yeah. So I'm saying, okay, I got it. You got a great. You had a great conference this year, SEC. You did. I can't take that away from you. But that doesn't mean it was so great that your team should have dominated the playoffs, because it wasn't.
Right.
But the thing that I'm most proud about with the CFP is teams like Boise, teams like Arizona State, who deserve the opportunity to be there because of them winning their championship, and the criteria of them being included in that mix, and then getting a bye. Like, of course, as we saw, all the bye teams lost, and so that's that deal. I mean, even this
so did the committee get it wrong, Charlie?
That's what I'm saying. Like, there's no getting it wrong to me. It's just a matter of who gets an opportunity by their season. And just because you want to get in a conference that has 18 teams or 20 teams or whatever the case may be, that's your deal, because you wanted to make the money off of the deals, and that's the reason why you got in the conference, whatever the conference is.
Yeah.
And you're having to play what you consider a gauntlet schedule, Georgia, talking about all the tough teams you had to play and all these different things. Well, you're in the SEC. I mean, if that's the case, then you have to play these teams. And so, I mean, it's no different in the NFL. If you're in a tough division, you have to play all those
situation.
Teams. Yeah. You know what I mean? You got to play those. And if you're in a weak division, that doesn't exclude them from winning division and getting into playoffs.
Right.
And so
like Houston, Texas.
so it's just one of those deals where you made the choice to be in the SEC because of the other factors.
Mm-hmm.
But now you got to live with those consequences of playing what you would consider a tough schedule.
If the SEC is so dominant, then why do all their teams get blown out in the playoff? Tennessee, Georgia, Texas, only one left. They're so dominant.
The rules state that if you win your conference and you're in the Power 5, you get a first round bye. So, oh well. The rules state in NFL, if you win your conference, you get the first round bye. So, sorry, Chargers, you're going to Houston.
Right.
That's just how it is.
Like Minnesota. I mean, they
sorry, Rams, you're going to Tampa Bay. I mean, Vikings, you're going to Chargers or Los Angeles. That's just how it is. Yeah, you got a 14-3 record, but win your conference, win your division. And I'm sorry, I don't have any sympathy for the SEC in this regard because you had your opportunities like everybody else did. And by the way, if we're talking about teams that on the eye test say they didn't deserve it, way had the best first round quarterfinal performance of all the teams. They were out. Well, one guy had it. Maybe Scatterbo had it. Maybe
I really like that dude. I love that dude.
but my point is, if we're talking about teams that met the eye test, if we're looking at what happened on the field with the playoffs, Arizona State looked more deserving of any. Georgia didn't play well. Oregon didn't play well.
Tennessee
didn't play well. So I don't want to hear it. You play the game in front of you. That's all it is to it.
Georgia's quarterback, I thought, played, well.
I thought he played okay. His offensive line let him down.
Considering what he was, the circumstances by which he had been placed in, he was fine.
Yeah. The O-line was awful.
Yeah, his O-line was awful. But they were awful all season.
Right.
They were awful all season. So that wasn't new information that we got in that game. But so having said all that, interesting game starting tonight. Notre Dame will take on Penn State. This is a very unique game.
It's extremely unique
because this game could easily be dubbed the "we're almost there" game.
Right.
Like these are
the two universities you never expected from.
Traditionally, are almost there situations. Like, oh, so close.
Well,
cool.
We will know. I'm always on this. We have two black coaches.
I was just going there, Charlie. You beat me to it. Go ahead now.
So we have two black coaches. Hope and I were sitting here on the couch, and we were talking about, man, there's never been a black coach to ever win a national championship.
Even playing it, even coaching it.
Charlie, it didn't even dawn on me until earlier this week when I started actually thinking about it. Hey, wait a minute.
Right.
We've never had a black coach coaching the. How is that possible? But when you think about it, it's very. It's very possible.
Where do we live? But because I hadn't even thought about it either until one of them was asked about it. I think Franklin was asked about it. And then I was like, oh, hold on. We do have the potential to have the first black coach win the national championship and play in the championship game.
Well, it's not even potential anymore. It's going to happen. Yeah.
My allegiances are behind the winner of this game, even though I'm not.
I mean,
I can't stand Notre Dame, and I'm not a big James Franklin fan either.
I mean, we're kind of obligated at this point.
Yes. I would love to see them win.
Yes.
Yeah.
That would be join forces to beat Ohio State.
So with that statement in mind, gentlemen, I'm going to ask the question this way: who do you think has the most potential, which will obviously tell us who we think is going to win, to go and win a national championship of the two teams that are playing tonight?
I would say Notre Dame.
Okay, that's what I think too.
Yeah,
one because
I've been on Notre Dame most of the season.
Yeah.
Notre Dame, to me, they have the defense and the offense, uh,
They have
along with
enough
kicking
offense.
game. Huh?
Have enough offense. I don't know if they have the offense, but I think they have enough offense to maybe make it interesting. They can't
I think,
get.
yeah. I mean, I think they do have enough offense.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if they're playing Ohio State, they're gonna the defense they're gonna lean on defense in their run game to keep Ohio State off the field. But they're gonna have to improve their passing game. Um, you know, more than I think he had 96 yards passing last game.
Oh, that's unbelievable. That is unbelievable, Charlie. That man played 60 minutes of football and had 96 yards and won. And they won. That's the crazy part about it. They won.
Hey, the run game was working. They stuck with it. But looking at the game, Charlie, I mean, between Penn State and Notre Dame, Penn State's defense has been playing really well, especially in the playoffs. And so, I mean, I do think they're going to make life difficult for Riley Leonard back there.
Well, that's if Abdul Carter can play or is healthy.
Mm-hmm. How do they keep?
They did have some other
producing some linebackers, man.
Yeah. I mean, even the backup guy, number 15, I can't remember his name, but he was good.
Yeah, he was all over the place.
Who we talking about? I'm sorry.
Penn State's linebacker.
Linebacker.
Yeah. Oh my. That's linebacker you. That is linebacker you.
Hey, I don't know where they come up with them at, but anytime you look out on Penn State's roster and see a number 11, go ahead and pencil him into the league.
He's gonna be great. He's gonna be great. He's absolutely gonna be a game changer, and he's probably going to end up in the NFC East somewhere, either with the Eagles or the Cowboys, one or the other.
Yeah, I can take Michael Parsons.
Yeah, so there you go. Let's go to the other side. The game tomorrow, Ohio State and Texas
down in Jerry World.
Let me just say this, because I had not seen a lot of Ohio State games this year. I'll be honest. I did not know that Jeremiah Smith was that good. I did not know.
I knew.
Jesus, man.
Because we played him. Our high school team played against him. I think he might have been a sophomore. And
you knew for a long time then.
Yeah, he was terrorizing folks for quite some time in high school. I mean, their team won like 3 or 4 state championships. But he was good even then.
I heard someone say that he's the best Ohio State receiver possibly ever. And when I heard that, I just thought that was hyperbole until I saw the game the other night. And I was like, well.
Yeah, but that's a lot.
Right. It is. But here's the thing, though.
I mean, I'm not saying he's not. I'm just saying
what he's doing is he's doing it as a freshman, though. And he looks
with not the greatest quarterback.
With not the greatest quarterback. And he looks almost like DK Metcalf now. Like, that's crazy to me. This kid is huge. And
I don't know what they're feeding these kids.
I
can't imagine how much it costs to feed that. But,
yeah.
I mean,
man,
he is spectacular. But greatest. I can't give that to a freshman.
It's a little early to say greatest. I'll admit that. It's a little early to say
Carter
greatest.
played at Ohio State.
Right. It's a little early to say greatest. Joey Galloway, like, come on, Joey was
pretty good at football.
He was pretty good at the football.
Jackson Smith and Jigba was pretty good when he was at Ohio State.
I'm just saying, they've had some very strong language.
Marvin Harrison just left.
Marvin Harrison left an hour ago. I'm just saying. He's
got a real shot at Offensive Rookie of the Year.
Just saying. But having said all of that, the kid is special. Like, he is.
He's special.
And I don't know what a Notre Dame does to stop that, other than
You got Texas.
put one over the top. I'm saying Texas. I'm already putting. If I'm being honest, I hate to say it, Texas, but
My buddy was like,
I'm already putting Ohio State in.
Lloyd, you'll laugh at this one. So my buddy was like, "You think Ohio State's gonna beat Texas in Dallas?" I was like, "I watch Dallas losing Dallas every week."
Not that hard to beat.
What's that mean?
Let me be clear to the Texas fans that are listening. There are no home field advantages for this game. First of all, Ohio State people travel extremely well. They literally just traveled all the way to California. This is traveling is not their problem.
Look, man, my second favorite coworker at work is a diehard Ohio State fan. His brother is in the band currently.
Yeah.
And he's talking about, I might go to my mom really wants to go to the national championship if they go. So
that's right. They're going. Ohio State fans are going.
So I think Texas.
But Texas is going to show out too.
I think Texas is going to surprise us.
Really?
How much of a surprise, Charlie?
I mean, people aren't giving them a chance.
They are not.
I give them a chance. I just Ewers.
That's to me. That's what it all comes down.
Question mark is Ewers.
But let me say this. I'm not saying it because I trust Will Howard. Will Howard's not much better than Ewers. So let's be clear. But his safety blanket is better. It's much better. It's because guess what? The second best receiver on Ohio State is it Egbuka? Is that his name? I'm just saying, if your second best receiver is also a top 5 pick in the NFL.
Right, they're projecting him. I saw a projection for him to go to Dallas.
I'm just saying, they got a good situation going in Ohio State. Will Howard just has to not screw it up, whereas Ewers has to go win the game. He's got to figure out how to go win this game. And
I feel like if Ewers was at Ohio, well, still at Ohio State, I guess.
What was that? Why did he leave there? That was stupid.
Well,
in Texas, he went back home.
He went home and he's doing pretty well.
He's doing well. I mean, he's doing well, but
I think that offense. Imagine if that offense did have Ewers, though.
But that's exactly what I'm saying. And imagine what his draft status would be had he played with that all season long. He might have jumped the gun a little bit on his decision. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, he was fine. I think he'd have been better served.
Dude left 3 years ago, and he was not even.
I mean,
he didn't know.
He wasn't even on the depth chart.
He didn't know.
I mean, there needs to be studies done on Ohio State. And they always have the best receiver, and like they always have quarterbacks that leave that end up being all-world quarterbacks that leave. Ewers, Burrow.
Yeah.
I mean, and they want to fire that man up there. They because he loses to Michigan. Get out of here, man.
Who are you guys going with in this one?
I'm still going with Ohio State.
I'm going with Texas.
You going with Texas? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Hook 'em horns.
Hook 'em horns.
I'd like to see the upset. I really would. I mean, this is tough for me because I don't like either of the 4 teams in it.
It's personal for you, sir.
I mean, I'll root for Notre Dame just because they're closer. I think South Bend's closer than Columbus.
Barely. I think no. Because South Bend from where you are is like 3 hours, maybe.
No, it's longer than that. It's
Columbus,
like
yeah, you're right. It might be about the same.
Might be about the same.
It might be about the same. You're right. You are correct.
I went to South Bend this year, so I'll go with Notre Dame.
All right. Well, there you go. You go with Notre Dame today. All right. We got to do this just because it's fun for us, and it'll be fun for you guys as well. Going to be a fun weekend this weekend. Wild Card weekend is always a joy and a lot of fun. I think
it is so much fun when you don't have a dog in the fight.
Oh, it's so much more relaxing. It definitely is.
It's not relaxing. It's not more fun.
I can sit back and just enjoy it for what it is. No pressures on me on my fandom. That's for sure. But I've had that for the last 13 years, so I don't know how great that is at this point.
It's usually done for me after the second week anyway.
Right. Charlie, I'm gonna start with you. Who do you see? I'll ask the question this way. Do you see any potential upsets this weekend? You got Texas Chargers, Ravens, Steelers, Bills, Broncos. Then you got Rams, Vikings, Buccaneers, Commanders, Eagles, Packers. Do you see any potential upsets going on in this first wild card round?
What do you mean by upsets? I mean,
well,
we're talking about the Ravens, because their expectation is to, win it all.
Right.
So if they lose, then I could see that being an upset.
That'd be an upset for sure. Do you see the Steelers being able to pull that off?
The way they've been playing here lately, I don't. I mean, they haven't been able to score.
Right.
The other teams haven't been able to score either, but they haven't been able to win those close games lately. And so I don't know if they can
I heard something this morning that I thought was utterly ridiculous. Dan Orlovsky floated out that maybe they should have a Justin Fields first down package and have him come in and do something on first down to help move the ball down the field. To that, I just simply said, there's a reason why you're in a studio and not on somebody's sideline, because that's ridiculous. I just don't see what the Steelers.
Not every first down, but I could see them mixing them in there. I mean, it couldn't be any worse than what their offense is now.
Well, I fully
a YOLO pass and hope somebody Pickens catches it.
I fully expect to see Justin Fields play this weekend. I just don't know how much of an actual difference it's going to make, because I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm with you, Charlie. The Steelers' offense feels like wishing on a star. Like does not seem like it's gonna. The game that is interesting to me, and let me start by saying I do not want this to happen at all, but it could. Is that the Broncos Bills is interesting to me because the defense of the Broncos is actually really, really, really good. I know people are trying to say Bo Nix did this, he did that. I think Bo Nix was fine. He wasn't great. He was okay.
He was fine.
But he was fine. He was pretty good.
For a 37-year-old rookie.
But that defense has been fantastic. And I think
has it?
I think it has. I think it has been really good. It's
statistically, yeah.
Right.
But the teams they did this against.
Well, you can only do it against who they put out there on Sunday.
You never know in the playoffs, because
they gave up
football is a little
34 points to the Chargers and 32 to the Browns. So,
well, but that's not the only team. That's not the only people that have given up a bunch of points to the Chargers. Because the Bills, who are the number 2 seed, they gave up 42 to the Chargers?
Great either.
That's my point. So the Bills' offense, defense is not great. So now it has played better the last 2 or 3 weeks, I think, but it's not great. Nobody's going to call it great. So there may be some opportunities, going to Charlie's point he just made there, for the Broncos to play this game in the 20s, in the low 19s.
Well, the thing is, they're not going to be intimidated by the cold.
That's the other thing. They don't care that it's going to be 30 degrees. That's warm to them.
Is it really going to be 30 in Buffalo?
It's supposed to be 30, I believe, is what I saw. So
that's the heat wave.
30, they may play with their shirts off.
There'll be somebody with a shirt on, no matter what the temperature is.
Right. If I'm thinking upset, that might be the one that I would lean to. A little bit Eagles Packers gives me pause, but Jordan Love not being 100% makes me think that they may not be able to pull it off.
Well, if Jalen Hurts is at 0%, then because he's still in concussion protocol.
He practice.
Did he practice?
He practiced.
Well, he was out there
something.
yesterday at practice. He has started the process of leaving concussion protocol. Now,
but they're back. Who's the backup?
He got hurt too.
Our guy, Kenny Pickett.
He got hurt.
Hold
hurt,
on, Charlie. Whose guy is it? Who you talking about? You talking about the ACC's guy? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Kenny Pickett. He gets the signal now. He gets to play in his helmet, so he don't have to. He can stay in the huddle.
I knew that was coming.
So he can think.
He
Better.
can think a little bit better.
And did he get hurt or did they just take him out? Because I know the third string quarterback came in and threw a couple touchdowns.
He got hurt. He got hurt. He was at
they're
practice
down to their
yesterday,
third string quarterback.
He was at practice yesterday too. Kenny Pickett was at practice yesterday too.
Okay.
So
But
we'll see what they do. Huh?
The Eagles, they gotta win. I mean, they need. I don't know who they're playing, but
Green Bay at home.
oh, they should be fine because Love is hurt, or her team. I should say.
He's hurting. They said that if they had to have that game, he would have come back the other.
He would come back in.
Come back in, but
well, listen, there is an easy path to the Eagles winning. It's very simple. Just turn around and hand the ball to the guy who just rushed for 2,000 yards.
Right.
Good point.
Yeah.
Play action.
This doesn't have to be hard. Like,
but that's the thing. Sirianni likes to make it hard, which is always fun.
This is very true. These are words that I cannot argue against. These are words. It is very true. So those are my two potential upset games. I just
you don't
it's gonna
think
be interesting to see what happens.
Rams Vikings doesn't give you a little pause with it being in LA?
I don't think that's an upset. I think the Vikings are the better team.
No, I'm talking about. That's what I'm saying. I think. What about it? Can the because it's an upset at the Rams?
Oh, you think the Rams? Well, they're the higher seed technically, but
I think I give the Rams a chance, man.
I give the Rams a chance for sure.
Their offense, because with that offense, with with Kupp, Nakua, Stafford back there, even Tutu contributes a lot. They're dangerous. They're inconsistent. They're wildly inconsistent. Yeah, that's why they're in the position they're in. But if they come if they play the way they're capable of playing, the Rams can pull off that upset.
Well, let me say this: if the Sam Darnold that they hoisted on their shoulders the week before comes and plays, the Rams have no shot. He has too many weapons. It's just that you can't stop.
That Sam Darnold that showed up on Sunday, oof,
was awful.
I don't know who that was. Now, granted,
was awful.
I don't understand why you get to the goal line and throw 8 straight passes, but and never run the ball. But
and really bad passes. Like a couple of those he threw to Justin Jefferson were like, dude, that's the Jet Sam Darnold.
It was a couple of times when he was open and Addison was butt naked, and he just did not
look his way.
Yeah,
he didn't look his way. So I don't know. Can you shake a game like that off, Charlie? This at this point in the season, is it easy to shake a game off like that off?
You have to.
What you pay to do. I think he can. I think he can bounce back. It's just that is a tricky game because you do wonder what was going on there.
Some of those were defense. I mean, you got the defense.
He got rattled by the
as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I didn't understand why they wouldn't mix in a run here and there to get the defense off his back. Like, why are they throwing it every time? Once they got in the red zone, they threw it every time.
I think Dan Campbell's aggressiveness sometimes causes you to start second guessing your own plan. Because he's going for it on fourth downs and he's doing weird stuff. You're like, well, I got to shake this up too. I can't be the only one.
Well, I think he got into Darnold's head too And he was because the one touchdown pass that he overthrew to Jefferson, I mean, he makes that pass in his sleep with his eyes closed.
Yeah, I was like, what? How did you miss that one?
What was that? But
yeah,
like I said, the Rams are a scary team, though. My thing with this game is more about the Rams than is the Vikings. I think the Vikings will be fine, but the Rams, when they come to play and when they're the good Rams and not the inconsistent Rams, I mean, they can make some noise if they play.
Yeah. By the way, I do have an upset, but I don't know if I consider it an upset because on paper I think they're the better team, and I think the Commanders are going to beat the Buccaneers.
I wouldn't. That's not a.
I think technically it's an upset, but yeah.
Technically, by the letter of the seeding, it's an upset.
I think these are two even teams.
Yeah, I think the Commanders are the better team.
Baker Mayfield, though, he can create magic.
He can.
He can also be black magic toward his own team.
And that's what I was going to say. He can until he doesn't, and he normally doesn't when the lights get brighter. That's my only concern. He has historically been bad when the lights got brighter.
He's what I call one of the Edgar Sosas. He's the ability to keep both teams in the game. Somebody said, I think Patino may have been the one that said it, but I heard an announcer say that Edgar Sosa, when he played at Louisville, had the unique ability to keep both teams in the game.
He is equally giving to everyone.
Yes, and that is Mayfield.
And I think Jaden is who he is, and I don't think he's going to flinch.
No,
I do not think
there's no moment. There's no moment too big for that kid.
Yeah. So I have them winning first round.
I can see that. I think I trust Tampa Bay's defense a little more, but I just think they're two evenly matched teams. So whatever happened in that game, I wouldn't be surprised.
You trust Vita Vea, that's what you trust.
And I trust a Louisville guy. Yaya's
had a great season.
He's had a really good season.
He had a great season. He's been playing really well this year.
Mm-hmm.
So it's gonna be a lot of fun. Going to be a lot of fun this weekend.
Shout out to our boy Jonathan Grenard with the Vikings. He played well against the Lions. He's one of the few bright spots the Vikings had in that game.
By the way,
I didn't know he was there because I thought he was still in Houston.
By the way, since we're giving shout outs, the kid that we are at the shout out portion of the show, the kid is his name Meek Robertson. I think he's the cornerback for the Detroit Lions.
Yeah.
Who had the greatest line after the game I think I maybe have ever heard when he said that team tried to bury me in the dirt, but you can't bury someone that was born out of the mud. I said, oh, well, sir,
bars,
sir. You can start your rap career at the end of the season. Go ahead. That was awfully good, sir.
No, that's pulpit worthy.
Yes. Without question. That was that. Listen, I want the Ravens to win for selfish reasons because of Lamar. But if the Ravens somehow don't make it, I will absolutely be rooting for the Detroit Lions.
I need the Ravens just to beat Pittsburgh.
Right. Well, that's you as a Cowboy fan wanting to shut up all your Pittsburgh haters. I got it. I got that.
Yes, as far as I understand. And you know what makes me mad? Because I've been watching that Hard Knocks with the AFC Central.
I have too, yeah.
I usually never watch Hard Knocks. I get bored with it, but it's been really good. What I hate about it, it makes you love Mike Tomlin even more. Mike Tomlin's just such a good dude.
He is.
I just love watching him talk. The way he interacts with his players. I'm like, I love this.
I don't understand how
they don't deserve this.
There are two coaches that I don't understand how you can't be motivated by them. Mike Tomlin and Dan Campbell. How do you not, like when you listen to them speak for 3 minutes, you feel like, okay, so that wall can come down. I think I can go ahead and just run through it and we'll be fine. I'll be fine. So they are amazing. Mike Tomlin, I would trade for him if I was the Chicago Bears. I would trade for him. I'd offer whatever Pittsburgh wanted.
I don't wish that fate upon anybody.
I didn't say it. I wouldn't. If I was Tomlin, I wouldn't agree to the trade.
Right.
No,
I didn't say if I was Mike, I would go. I'm saying if I was Chicago, I would offer whatever they wanted.
They're dead set on getting
They came after your coach.
I know. They're dead set on hiring an old man because after Dallas shut them down, they went after Pete Carroll. I think Pete Carroll may have just interviewed with him yesterday. I think I'm like, y'all determined to have somebody old.
Well, they interviewed. I know they interviewed Vrabel yesterday.
Vrabel ain't going there. Vrabel's going.
No, Vrabel's absolutely going to New England. And by the way, let me just give this commentary. You guys don't have to join in if you don't want. It's fine. Robert Kraft, that was a crime that you just committed against Gerard Mayo. That's a crime.
One of your own players,
That's just, if I was Gerard Mayo, I may not ever set foot in this building again. Because that's not cool.
Nope.
That wasn't cool at all. That man didn't even have a chance to unpack his boxes.
Hmm.
He said he didn't. He did him a disservice.
Thank you for saying it publicly. I appreciate it, but that doesn't help me. I still got to pack.
He should have given him more time. I'm like, well,
then why didn't you?
You're the one in control of that.
Right. You're talking like your hand is being forced. Like, what are you talking about?
Right. Like the powers that be made him fire.
Are you in a hostage situation? Is somebody holding a gun to your head? Like, what are you talking about? That was the weirdest letter I think I've ever heard. Like, bro, are you not aware that you're still the owner? Like, did you not get the memo? Like, what are you doing? Are you in a Xanax state? Like, what is happening? That was terrible. I don't know who's owning worse. We need to do a show.
There's no question. There's no question.
Your owner's bad. I agree. But my owner ain't much better. Hold on. My owner ain't much better though.
He's the clear second.
Right. My owner is pretty. He's sticking up.
The Bears give all of them a run for their money.
The Bears are definitely like, hold my beer. We think we can outdo this. This may be the worst time of ownership in an NFL that we've ever seen. Like, it's bad.
Because the owners are so old now.
Yeah, they got
owners are so old now, and they don't want to let go of it.
Because
it has to be run by a teenager. Right.
Woody's bad. Khan is bad in Jacksonville. He's horrible. What's his name down in oh God, I'm drawing a blank. The lady down in
I found a tax
New Orleans.
expert on Fiverr to handle our taxes.
The tax expert.
That was free. You guys said to check.
Mike Brown is always in the running for the Bengals.
Mike Brown is right. Well, he's going to have the worst offseason of his life.
Yeah, because he hates spending money.
And listen, he has no choice.
Burrow's going to have to restructure. I guarantee
he has no choice.
Burrow's got to restructure.
I think I have a drop for that. Yeah, I do have a drop for that.
Yesterday's price is not today's price.
We need to get somebody else to say that.
I like Fat Joe. You don't like Fat Joe?
You seen his recent comments?
No.
Just Google it after the show.
Okay. All right. We have to get into that. I missed something. I've been out of the media loop on that one. Okay. All right. Who we shouting out, Jim? Who we shouting out?
Tamar Latson.
Oh, now we can give her attention, Charlie.
You know, Charlie, that was
especially when he makes that grin afterwards.
I almost want to humble flex you, but I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it because it doesn't meet the criteria.
It doesn't meet the criteria, but it is funny. It's just funny.
There's something I probably should be doing here, but I don't know what.
We need to come up with one of his fly under the radar drops. That's what.
Right, there's something that should be happening here. I just don't know what it is. But go ahead and give it to tonight. She's been fantastic, by the way.
Right.
Fantastic. Okay. But I said that earlier. Though, Charlie.
I just want to give her a shout out for her to continue.
I see what you did there. I see what you did there, Charlie.
I don't think there's anything I love on this show more than when Charlie says something and gives that grin.
That grin.
That one right there.
That grin is something.
Okay, I've got my shout out, which I already discussed with you all in our text earlier this week, which I know is going to make Charlie Ward extremely happy. The Republic Bank, because we always have to say the sponsor's name because they literally will email us if we don't. The Republic Bank LIT this year, the Louisville Invitational Tournament, which is essentially for those outside of Louisville, is the city tournament. They are going to have a shot clock this season at this year's tournament.
Yes.
So shout out to them for finally stepping into 1970 and putting a shot clock in high school basketball. Hopefully this is a precursor of what's going to come. Kentucky's always very slow moving, so it might just be the LIT for a few years before it gets adapted full time. But shout out to them making that first step to having a shot clock in high school basketball.
Unbelievable. Next up,
Awesome.
3-point line.
Awesome. Can we go back to the rounded backboards?
You want the rounded backboards?
That's where they're going. I mean, they want to stay in the.
No. You get rid of the 3-point line.
Yeah, let's get rid of 3-point line.
Let's just take it all the way back.
Like people, like what I've experienced. I was with some of the people from the NFHS on Monday, and we were talking about the shot clock and how like all the states that have adopted it, no one has said that they're not playing with one. Like they've taken it back. Like we're just going to take down the shot clocks, and so it's very similar to the square backboard, the breakaway rims, the 3-point line. You don't see nobody erasing none of them,
Right.
or taking any of those things down because they see the value in it. And so, to me, the shot clock is very similar. Like, no state has said we're not going to, after starting, they haven't said we're not going to use it anymore.
It's not going to ruin the sport.
100.
Right.
Right.
People are so. I know why the coaches that want to, that don't want it. I know why they don't want it because
Oh, absolutely.
they don't want to have to coach every possession.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And then they know they don't have the athletes, and so the great equalizer is stalling the ball in 3-point shot. That's the equalizer. That's at the crux of it.
I definitely get the strategy.
These smaller schools that can't get up and down the court, they wanted to slow the ball down, and that's how you have games that are 4-2 at the end of the first quarter.
Yeah, I mean that's really slow, but you can still slow the ball down with the shot clock.
You sure can.
You can limit the possessions.
Because the quarters are what?
Doing.
Yeah, because the quarters are what? 8 minutes.
8 minutes.
Yeah, you can 35-second shot clock. I mean, you can still hold if you get offensive rebound, you can still hold the ball for a minute.
100%. All right, were you good, Kizzy?
I'm good.
Okay. I got a couple of shout outs going here. So let me get started. First of all, a collective show shout out to Deshaun Jackson. There may have been not more shocking news of a head coach hire than Deshaun Jackson. I'm gonna be honest with you. Didn't see that one coming on my bingo card at all.
I'll give it a chance, but just doesn't.
It doesn't seem like it's a fit to me. But
different.
But I don't know Deshaun Jackson's football acumen either.
Right, so I don't know that man from the man on the moon. So
so he may be a lot more astute at this than I think that he
might be a savant.
He's definitely excited. So I like that. I like that he's coming in. He's excited about the probabilities. I'm stunned that he got hired, but shout out to him. Hopefully he can make this work very, 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 very well. My next shout out is to Netflix. They did not screw any of what they had to do up. not the NFL. That turned out phenomenally great. The WWE thing Monday was outstanding. It looked visually amazing. They did some new things with the camera tricks and drones, and it was really, 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 really good.
Drones have been a big difference in broadcast nowadays. You can just do things, and it's cheaper.
It's cheaper.
Have a big old crane to do what they can do now with the drones. So yeah, the drones have made a world of difference in broadcast television, especially sports.
Outstanding. So shout out to Netflix for getting that thing all the way right. And now the game is going to dramatically change. And by the way, for those of you who have been sleeping through the night, we will be getting a new sports. I don't know what you call it, network conglomerate.
That's still in the works because I heard about it.
Oh no, it's done.
Okay.
It's done. Venue is a thing. You're gonna be hearing more about that in the very near future. It's a package that you buy. I think the price I heard was $49 a month, which is bananas. But whatever, it's very expensive. But it's happening. Let's be clear, it is happening. And it's going to encompass Fox, Sports, TNT, and ESPN. So just get ready. You heard me.
Yeah, I knew it was coming. I don't understand the business behind it because you already have those channels.
But not as one package. I think what they're saying is you can bypass all of cable TV.
Oh, yeah, and just have that pack.
And just get that if that's all you want, which, by the way, a lot of people are going to do. Because if I'm being completely honest, I have YouTube TV. Don't watch 90%.
I don't watch 90%. Really, all I watch on YouTube TV is sports, 2.5 Men, Three's Company, and Sanford and Son.
everything else I watch on YouTube TV is stuff that I recorded, and it's like maybe 5 shows, and I don't need YouTube TV to go watch any of them. So I'm telling you, this could be a game changer.
I knew it was coming.
Yeah.
Or you can do it like I know a lot of people do in one of the richer neighborhoods in town. All of them have this box where they just get everything.
Oh yeah, well that's out there. That's never going to change. That box is never going to change. You know what I'm saying? But it's
like $300. Pay what $300 up front, and you have everything.
Yeah,
including paper.
And then my final shout out is to our fantasy league that we just played in. Kendrick and I just played in. It was a great season.
Did you win again?
I did, and once and
Charlie, I know my teammates.
And then this year because it's our 20th year playing fantasy, we did something different. No, I'm definitely hitting the button. Let's be clear.
Yes,
Charlie, I just won the league back to back. I'm for sure hitting the button.
Oh, okay.
But not only because of that, but because they got me this really nice championship ring. See that?
Who's they?
The league.
I didn't contribute to that ring.
Well, it's not an expensive ring. Let's be clear.
But just see the word "they" is very deceptive.
It is.
The only "they" there would be they in their household.
That's right.
And that was a humble flex.
You ain't worth 2 dead flies.
What?
So if I win that next year, is that ring coming in?
You get a ring in the mail. I think it's a cool little flex.
I do like the ring. I ain't gonna lie, I do like it.
It's a cool little flex. It's heavy. I can't wear this all the time. It's annoying because I find out this thing is really annoying after like 10 minutes. You're like, because your whole hand is weighted down. You're like, I don't like this.
Because you used to only having one ring on.
Right. And it's light, and I don't even know it's there after a while. Whereas this, you always know it's there. So it's, Because
so we, my fantasy league at work, we chipped in and got a trophy. Well, the guy that won it last year got a job in Utah. So instead of
trophy,
huh?
He's got the trophy. He took it with him.
Yeah, this fool instead of leaving it here, where everybody else in the league is. He takes it with him to Utah. So of course he came in almost dead last this year in the league. And so now we're like,
he's got to send the trophy back.
I know. I don't know how we're gonna get him to send it back.
He's got to send it back. You got to get him on the line and say, "Yo, bro."
Man, I don't trust.
Trophy back.
I don't
Stop playing.
trust him to get here in one piece if they do send it back.
Listen. Maybe you go with championship ring. It's not expensive. I promise you, they're not expensive at all.
It's true.
So it's a long-term flex for whoever wins.
We may have to make a trip to Utah.
You gonna pull up on the man's house?
Hey, let the tournament be out there this year. We pulling up.
We pulling up, baby. We pulling up. All right. Okay, well, that's all I got. That's all the shout-outs I got. Everybody in the country right now, and under the sound, as the pastor would say, under the sound of my voice, please stay safe on wherever you are. Stay safe from the fires. Stay safe from this cold weather, the snow that's coming through, and ice and stuff that's coming through. Please stay safe. Do what you need to do to protect you and your family, and stay prayed up, as they say. Stay prayed up. So, with that being said, I hope you've enjoyed this, because we certainly have. That is the great. Where are you at? Over there. That's the great Kendrick Haskins. That is the incomparable Charlie Ward.
Oh, you say great. I just think Charlie.
Well, I think this. Charlie's beyond great. Charlie's incomparable.
Yeah. Extraordinary.
Extraordinarily incomparable.
No.
No question. There's no question, Charlie. Don't even downplay it. It's not even.
Yeah, you're not flying under the radar with us, Charlie.
No. We know.
No nose.
Always. This is Bleav in the ACC. We'll see y'all next week.
You've been listening to Bleav in the ACC with Charlie Ward, Lloyd Spence, and Kendrick Haskins. Please like, follow, subscribe, and share from the Noisemakers page on Facebook and on YouTube. And you can also listen to us on Spotify, Apple Music, iTunes, and wherever podcasts can be heard. And